Hey! I already see Wild's face. Marvel sports fans, and welcome back. Yes, back to the Marvel Worldwide podcast. What else do I say? My name is
Dashy.
Brendan.
You did that one before, I believe.
Yeah. I did it with more energy, I think, even that other time. But this is the podcast, and then Waff.
Yes, I'm Commander Woof. That's me in the show. I don't know how to make this fit the theme of what you just did.
I can't help but do it stupidly, do match to confuse Waff. It's so fun. Anyway, this is the podcast, episode 163. We have 3 events left in Marble League 2023, so that's exciting. That'll be about 2 more episodes, I'd say.
Well, 4 more, right? Because there's 13, 14. Or did we do 13 just now?
13 is Elimination Race. That was came out today.
Left then. Okay, yeah.
So we have 3 left, so that'll be about 2 more episodes, maybe a third if there's a guest who wants to blah, 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 right? So we'll see. But we got a good one today. We'll cover 2 events for you quickly, talk about a couple other things, and get you out of here. Nothing new with me. I went to, an escape room today that was kind of cool, right?
Ooh.
It's kind of like something where you go in, and there's a lot of different types of rooms in the whole building that you can do that are like different themes and stuff, which I thought was cool. But the problem is most of them, because they want a lot of people a chances to go through, they're like timed. So like if you make a mistake or if you don't figure it out quick enough, you have to end and go back out and then go back through, which happens relatively quickly. But I kind of like the escape room vibe where you're just in this giant room or giant set of rooms and you just have a certain amount of total time to figure it out. And you don't have to keep cycling through. You're just in there figuring it out. I think that's cooler because you're really trying to think it through. But I don't know. It was still pretty fun. What else? There's Oh, I went disc golfing this weekend. That was fun.
Oh, okay.
Like golf, but with the frisbees. I love doing it. I love playing that. I met some older guy who's been playing for 8 years, and some tips, I guess, a couple tips from him. So that was a lot of fun. It was a long bike ride because there's not many near Boston. So I biked an hour and a half and then an hour and a half back. And that wore me out because it's uphill, downhill stuff, right? So,
right.
But that was overall a lot of fun. But that's where I'm at. School's almost over for me. This semester is almost over for me anyway. And that's really the life update, Waff.
I don't really have much. It's kind of been a slowish week. Been a bit lazy, kind of wasting some of my time. I guess it's kind of fair, I guess, how hard I've worked the past few weeks. But even still, I kind of feel bad about not getting more stuff done. I have quite a few projects to work on, so I have things to do. I just need to kind of sit down and do it. I got a reaction video for Symphonica with a fan to work on. They had completed. They got the spirit. Wow, geez, they got to experience part of the story a long time. I feel like I might have told this story already, but they got to experience the story years ago, back in middle school, but only saw 3 episodes, and so we kind of reacted to and finished the story with him together. So we got to see a fan's actual live reaction to the rest of the story, which is something I didn't think we'd ever really get to do, but we did, and it was pretty cool.
That's cool, Waff. That's awesome. Well, your life updates are a lot more fun lately. I feel like you're doing a lot more things, and I really like that. And you always bring something exciting to the little intro seg.
Yeah, I was trying to make the most of my life, man. You gotta make the most of the time you have.
Yep, you only get a short amount of time. Do something fun, right? Get into Marvel sports, and then get out of Marvel sports because JMR is a problem. We might cover that
talk
briefly.
About that.
We'll actually let Waff bring that up right after we get back from the news because, man, it just doesn't get better. It just gets worse and worse for this organization. I'll tell you what, anyone who is ready to make Marvel sports at high quality, I mean, this is your time. This is your time to get on in there, right? I'll tell you what. But listen, Waff. I'll tell you what, Waff. I always have trouble focusing, man. I always have trouble focusing a bunch. I'll always be drinking coffee in the mornings to try to get myself awake and actually able to do work. But I'm always a tired guy. I have trouble even just getting up in the morning, bro. So I found this thing that kind of goes along with your coffee, right? And the idea is you have coffee, and you can do it without. You can drink this without coffee, but you have coffee, and you take this little shot. This stuff is called Magic Mind, and you take this little shot, and it's whatever it does, it makes the coffee better. It just like makes you able to like have the effects of coffee without the bad side effects of coffee. You know those bad side effects like jitteriness or just that kind of fake feeling you have where you like still tired but also awake at the same time. So I bought this stuff. I've been taking it, and honestly, for days I really need to focus down. It's been helping me a ton. I've been more productive. I've actually been awake. Like I felt like during the time I was awake, but I wasn't like, you know, when I used to take ADD meds, like jittery out of my mind, just like all over the place. Honestly, this stuff is great. It's called Magic Mind. Believe it or not, that's also the sponsor for today, which is so cool that we have that now on MSW. And this stuff is great. Honestly, it's actually had an effect. Let's see if I have it for camera. See, it's right here. I bought it here. I have like a couple left. And I've been taking it this week because I've had a lot of projects to work on this week. And a lot of like, I have like, you know, finals coming up for my college and everything. So I really needed to actually get mad work done. But this stuff's great. It has natural ingredients, no sugar, nut-free, vegan, keto, all that stuff. It's got matcha in it, which is like extended release caffeine. That's how it operates. There's also this thing called Bacopa Manieri, which is great against impulsivity. I think impulsivity is something that hits people hard if they have a lot of coffee, caffeine, or like, again, the ADD med type of vibe. And so it kind of calms you down, gives you that longer attention span, ability to process. Honestly, wonderful ingredients all around. You can go to the Magic Mind website and get up to 56% off with our code MSWPOD20. So highly recommend it. It's magicmind.com/MSWPOD20 if you want that discount. A lot of people have been talking about it, not just me. Even Joe Rogan actually mentioned it on a show, which is kind of wild. Apparently some of the best surfers in the world, their names are Koa Rothman and Nate Florence. I don't know much about surfing, but I'm told that they also were talking about it on their show. It's 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked if you really don't mess with it. I think it's honestly something I've seen a difference. Like I know how I feel when I'm tired, and then I know how I feel when I drink coffee. I know how I feel when I drink Red Bull, and then I know how I felt when I drank this plus the coffee. And I was like, all right, it's a little bit more useful. I can be a little bit more awake. So again, magicmind.com/MSWPOD20, MSWPOD20, for 56% off, or up to 56% off. So, Waf, anything else before we head to the news?
No, that just sounds like some pretty cool stuff. Like I didn't get a chance to try it myself. I take ADD meds as well, so wasn't sure if it would, you know, layer on top or not, or if it would. But, you know, hey, for people who don't have ADD but you need some help focusing, this sounds like it's worth a shot.
Dude, you should totally give it a shot, too. I don't know if there's side effects with that, but you'll find out. Hey! So, without further ado, let's get to the news, and then when we get back, we got some Marvels to talk about.
Hello, Marvel Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf here with the Marvel Sports Worldwide News. We've got a fair bit to go through, so let's get right to it, shall we? First up, we have Event 12 of Marvel League 2023, the Legion March Wave, which we saw earlier during the qualifiers. After quite a few runs, the Pinkies came out in first, followed by Team Momo in second, and the Rojo Rollers in third. Then we have Event 13, Elimination Race. This race was filled with so many obstacles that really gave the racers a lot of trouble, and the final race was so close, with the winner threading the needle at the very end. And that winner was Rojo Uno from the Rojo Rollers. In second place was Glumo from Team Plasma, and in third was Yella from Mellow Yellow. And now for some non-JMR news, we have Event 13 of the Marigold Marble Racing Season 5 A-League, Moguls, which takes place in Minecraft. Haven't seen that one before. By the end of these races, Hedra from the Spinel Spirals came in first, followed by Powder from the Cinnamon Swirls in second, and Garb from the Masquerades in third. Then we have the Marble Sport Tournament Season 1 Event 7, Climbing. As the name would suggest, the marbles ran up a ramp to see who would get the highest. In the end, The Midnight Moons came in first, followed by the Majestic Minties in second, and the Shadow Warriors in third. Then there's the Valvic Marble League Season 3, Event 5, Funnel Endurance. After several battles, Swirl from the Bubblegum Ballers came in first, followed by Uramaki from the Sushi Squad in second, and Sonata from Team Virtuoso in third. And finally, we have the Adventure Marble League Marbula 1 Week 4. The battle has continued to go on, and the Marbles are constantly trying to win that top position. Best of luck to all of them for the coming weeks. Well, that's all for the news. Thank you for listening. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with a podcast.
All right, welcome back. Yes, back to the news. I mean, from the news. Shit. Yeah, you're right. I am kind of insane. So we are back from the news. We're gonna do this. Is what we're gonna do. We have a guest, so we're gonna say hi to the guest. Then Waff's gonna bring up a little bit more drama with the JMA, and then we're gonna talk about the two events. So all that about to happen here. First up, though. Guest on. We haven't had him on since I think episode 113. He's gonna correct me if I'm wrong. I know it, but I think it was 113. And then we had him on before, once or twice before that. I don't remember the episode numbers. But welcome back to the show after a long time, 2 years now. Marbles for Autism, or MFA. What's up, dude?
Or John. It's been a while since I've used MFA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Welcome, John. It's great to see you again.
MFA, John. You know what? As long as you don't call me SpongeBob.
I never called you before, so I won't call you that now.
Crossed my mind, dude.
It's happened at work. It's happened at work.
I can't imagine.
But, oh boy, the sinks.
I guess you want to give us a life update because it's been a while, man.
Yeah, we need a life update. We need a Marbles update. Just be honest, be open, tell us everything, and then we'll move on with the topics for today.
How far back do you want me to go?
I don't know. I mean, don't take
2
more
years.
than like 5 minutes.
Okay.
You got 5 minutes, so do it. Say what you want to say.
Okay, so back 2 years, I was working with a contractor, moved on from him, joined a race team, became a mechanic. I've been a mechanic for 8 months now. Basically, it's actually one of the top 5 shops in the United States, actually.
Really?
Wow.
I didn't even know they had a ranking for that.
Oh, yeah, they have rankings. I will give the shop name, give them a check out, Gil's Garage. They
actually
are
looking
an
that up as
excellent
he
shop.
talks.
So, I actually started as an apprentice. It's an amazing story how I even got in, but basically, keep it short. The contractor I worked with...
Is it gillshalfmoon.com?
That is one of our shops.
gillsgarage.com?
They're both ours. They're both
ours. I'm just going to click on the Gills Garage one. I'm going to scroll through it as you talk. Go ahead.
So, basically what happened is the contractor I worked with knew... So originally I wanted to get into the racing scene, so he knew a parts supplier whose father turned out to be a dirt car racer, who happened to be the owner of the shop's best friend.
Huh.
And the way I met the contractor was 5 years ago. I was walking up the street with a snow shoveler over my shoulder, and he asked, do I want a job?
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It is providential. That is what I'm calling it. But it is... it's been crazy. It's been really nice, too, because just today I was out around town. A lady noticed me in my jacket and said, "Oh, you work at Gills?" And she was like, "I take my car there all the time. I'm sure you've done some work for me. Thank you." And
oh, that's awesome.
It is super nice to be able to do something that is quite helpful, because I don't know about you two, but a lot of people have not a clue how to work on a car. Not a clue. And when they do, they make a big mess. I've seen jobs done by customers, and it's we won't go there. We shall not go
Okay.
there.
Yeah, that's a skill I've heard like a lot like that has died down the more like shops have opened up. Like people no longer needed to know how to fix their own cars, so it's a skill set that's kind of naturally declined over the years.
Yes, in a sense, yes. The other problem is aside from doing the oil change, air filters and all that stuff, cars have gotten a lot more complicated. A lot more.
For sure.
They are definitely...
They used to be not as bad.
Yeah. But that's basically what's been going on with me. Aside from that, I joined a couple race teams. The man who I originally joined, he retired at the end of that season. So I actually joined him for his final season. Talk about timing. He actually had a friend who he drove for one time. I happened to ask if I could stay on and help them, and I've been helping them for the past year and a half.
That's awesome.
It
You're
is.
above me. What? Oh, so like, yeah, you're not in like the New York direction from Boston. You're like in the.
I
would be west and
upstate
then north.
New York. No, not western. Upstate New York.
No, west from me though.
Oh yeah. If you're in Boston, I am probably about 3.5 hours away from you.
Yeah, but like literally across all of Mass. Yeah, that would be a whole completely different. I don't even know if there's a major road that really follows.
Yes, there is.
Kinda.
There is. There is very much a major
90?
road. It's the Mass Turnpike that takes you actually about 45 minutes south of me.
Oh, cool. So yeah,
The Mass
I
Turnpike
forgot.
runs.
New York is so high up. Like the top of New York actually like
Yeah,
is
we're
like
bordering
at
Canada.
the same level as like halfway up Maine. It's like above
No,
Toronto and all that.
Maine is actually quite a bit north in latitude. It's just the curvature of the Earth. Where I live. Huh?
No, I'm just talking to myself. Go ahead.
Okay. So where I live is about the 43rd parallel. So technically, we're only about halfway to the North Pole.
That's crazy, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, this goes like, oh, that's interesting. I just refreshed myself on some positioning. New York is pretty high up. Anyway, keep going.
What else do you want me to talk about? Marbles? Well, I haven't done really.
Yeah, like where you on with marbles? Like I know you used to watch it a lot. I know you used to also make content a lot. Like where are you still at with all that?
The content's died. I will admit. My parents had 2 more children.
Wild.
One was already here, but it's my younger brother, so he moved into the room with me where I was filming, and, Secondly, I discovered a better form of racing, and that's automotive racing. I enjoy it more, and it's just better for me. More expensive, yes, but I enjoy it more.
Yeah, that's fair. It's very fair.
I think that's fair. I mean, there's more of an outlet to actually do that IRL too. Marble racing is kind of restricted to the 2 people who make content on it because it's so hard to make content on it, and it's not a big thing yet. So it's like automobile racing. There's so many options to get involved with that.
Yes. Also, if anyone does want to get into marble racing, I have some equipment I am willing to sell.
Well, there you go.
Well, when I mean equipment, I mean about 5,000 marbles and about 30 meters of Corsetti rally track. And that
will get some people started.
It's expensive. That stuff is expensive. The Corsetti stuff, mostly because
actually I should have mentioned this before. Just kind of like throw it on top of that. If you're actually interested in making marble content, the Racing Marble guy said he would take all the equipment that he used, all the marbles and everything, and the channel with 7,000 subscribers, and dump it on anyone for free who wants to do it. So
Really?
There's that too. You have to be qualified and able to produce consistent content.
You get it.
And you have to use the channel that was used, Racing Marbles. But yeah, if you want it, you can just do it.
That's a good
That's like
deal.
me announcing that now. If you actually want to do that, talk to me. But the reason I haven't been talking about that up is because most people aren't qualified to be able to consistently do that, because it is hard. You need a lot of time to make that kind of content. So like, I don't know if he'd drop the cameras on you. He would drop the marbles and the other stuff.
See, the 7K, that actually is enough to start getting a profit. So you could hire an editor. You'd probably have to find someone local and maybe cheaper, but that would be enough to find an editor, which would be a huge assistance. You would need space, though. That 7,000 subscribers, that's going to require some work.
Well, I don't know if it... So, here's the thing with YouTube is after 6 months of not posting anything, they have the right to remove your monetization. So, you might have to restart. So, I think to get it back, you'd have to meet the minimum requirements of
1,000 hours.
Views or upload times.
It's 1,000 hours
again, yeah, so...
a month. Or is it a year? I can't remember.
I think it's 1,000. I think it should be a year. It should be a year.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So you have to get that going yet again before you can actually start making money again.
One thing you do have to remember is the power of YouTube Shorts. If you can make YouTube Shorts with 7K subscribers and just start pumping them out about one a day, that should get you back up there.
Yeah, but you need
someone... they have different requirements for doing it through Shorts.
Yeah, that is correct.
You need someone who has the time and the money to kind of get that going, even though the material's free. So I mean, that's the thing. That's why I'm not just, most people aren't really able to do that.
You need someone who is either very devoted or very young. A very devoted man would be able to find and make a way work. A very young person would be able to make it work because they simply have no other requirements. Aside from school.
But young people aren't, if you're too young, you wouldn't be able to produce something that professional. And you just don't understand.
That's exactly what I was just going to bring into my next point. But again, enough about me. I think I've covered all the bases. I can't think of anything else at the moment. I'll probably remember something in 30 minutes and just blurt it out. It's just my brain lagging.
That's
totally
all right,
fine, but it's really cool to hear what you've been up to. It's always you can always do so much in a relatively short amount of time. 2 years is not a short amount of time though, and you can it sounds like you've made quite a bit of good use of it. I'd say
I've tried, but I still have wasted time, and I probably wasted too much. I will admit I probably have about 1,000 hours worth of time played in Civilization 6. Yeah, I probably... although granted, that is while I was doing other things too, and the clock keeps running even when you leave it open and the computer on. But...
Okay, yeah, fair.
Still, I wasted too much time. However, that reminds me, like I told you, my brain lags. I actually got to speak with the owner's mother last night about the history of around our town, which was amazing.
That's really cool.
It was actually amazing. And gentlemen... and ladies, if you're watching, but I suspect most of the audience is gentlemen.
No, wait, no. What? There's always this one girl who comes in. I think she's old. By her profile picture, I think she's older than us. I forget her. What's her name? Lisa.
There are plenty of
Lisa.
There are plenty. I've seen their comments.
There
are plenty of female viewers.
Fair. My apologies
her
to
name's
everyone.
Lisa, and she always comes in and asks about the episode. So shout out to her. Shout out to Lisa. I remember seeing her way back, episode 10 times. Well, let's see. Oh, dude, look back at our logo was the weird MSW AI generated logo. I mean, it was fine for a minute, and then we got the thing. Let's see. Wait, no, I don't.
Shout out to Jack Ironhide.
He's a good man. Open link in new tab. Boom.
I think we should move on, Brendan, because we got a lot to talk about.
This always seems to happen when I'm around. Always.
No, this is a Brendan thing, honestly.
No, you trigger some interesting thoughts. So go ahead,
trigger
Waf.
man.
You can talk. You have the. We're gonna talk about that one new thing JMR did, and then we'll all talk about it.
All right. Well, so basically, recently, Sarutobi, the former head of the Chinese subtitling group for JMR, as well as the Saurus Dinosaurus, a well-known member of the community, had their videos about the incident with China taken down by Dion. It says by JMR, but let's be real here. We all know who really did.
Yeah, I don't think Jell even knows what's going on.
No, I'm probably not. But, and so they were taken out on by copyright grounds, saying that they shouldn't, I guess, because they can't use their content, even though the source went through and checked, and all the footage that was used was from other MLs that were not the claimed one, I think. So it was all it's an abuse of power that you should not be, that no one should do, and the community's not happy about it. And you see it all over Twitter, you've seen it on Reddit. People saying this is not okay, hashtag free the dino, all that stuff. And they've been a lot of people have been mass blocked on Twitter by Dion. Minos tried to unblock some.
Big Bets, Big Takes was mass blocked, right? He got blocked.
Yeah, he was. Minos came in he unblocked a lot of people, but I've seen recently that they've been re-blocked.
No.
So I guess Dion has been... Yeah, so
that's crazy.
Dion is very actively trying to keep things down. Minos and Jim, one of the cameramen, I think is I'm trying to say things like be positive and ignore the negative stuff. It's Jim, that's not gonna happen. We can't just take this. This has been going on for too long. It's ridiculous. The people have been making comments on YouTube too for videos, but then they're quickly deleted because Dion's keeping his eye on a swivel to make sure no one can spread the dissension, and he just can't take criticism for anything.
That reminds me.
Stupid.
I found something. Let me see if I can pull it up, but I found a picture. Oh yes, here it is. I'll send it in the MSW live chat.
All right. Is this a picture of Dion or something?
No, it's a picture of what somebody sent in a YouTube comment. You are my favorite channel on YouTube. No excessive drama or controversy. Quality editing, sets, recording, audio, etc. You are so relaxing to watch. This man obviously has no idea.
It's not me.
They do not. When was that comment made? Was that made today?
No, that was 3 weeks ago. In the middle of all the controversy of that other thing happening.
That's gotta be sarcastic, right? It could be, surely.
No, I don't think it's sarcastic.
Dion does ultimately it is it's more underground. It's not necessarily very on the surface, because Dion makes a very heavy effort to keep it out of the public eye, or at least the main public eye. But it's getting worse and worse, and the more that people talk about it, eventually he's not going to be able to go against it. Regarding the copyright strikes in their videos, they have been, obviously I think there's they're on the Internet Archive, I believe, and they're also uploaded to Vimeo, so you can see their videos, Sarutobi's and Thesaurus Dinosaurus. I'm trying to make an effort to link them in the description here, so that way people can still go find them for the full context of what happened. Dinosaurus is a bit hesitant to fight the claim because he doesn't want to risk the rest of his channel, which is not just about marble stuff, so he doesn't want to lose a lot of other things. And Sarutobi, I think they're slowly trying to fight it off. I've actually been reaching out to them because I'm used to fighting big companies for copyright reasons on YouTube. I've been trying to hey, if you need help, I'm willing to offer it. Yeah, we're currently in that situation where Dion is just basically trying to burn down the community, burn down so many different bridges, and it's just absolutely absurd.
See, the big problem is, again, international law is super, super tough to litigate through. Even online, it is very, very difficult, especially when you're operating within two different platforms that kind of operate independently, Bilibili and YouTube. They're two competing companies, basically. When you have somebody like that, YouTube's not going to do anything about Bilibili, and Bilibili's not going to do anything about YouTube. Now, granted, you'd have to say something about, how should I put it, Dion. The problem is Dion, I say that in general, JMR, the company, owns that content. So therefore, what's his name? Chinese dude. Yeah,
Sarutobi.
Sarutobi really can't fight anything due to the problem that he was simply subtitling. Is it a bad look? Absolutely. You cannot do that. You cannot.
Wait, that's not what he's talking. So the video was him detailing the drama. That was what was taken down, him explaining things. Yeah,
Okay,
so
now that's the
he
strange
used background footage from JMR, which technically speaking, like it was not necessarily, I think, needed to further his discussion. So it wasn't maybe like super transformative, but I think it was transformative enough from like everything, all the audio being on top of it, all the audio from the original being cut and like edits being made, that it probably would still fall under transformative use.
Yeah.
And like as you mentioned, international law is very hard to fight. And so, like, it's expensive. So normally, if you dispute a company on your video, you usually end up winning because they're not going to actually bother taking the time and money to actually do a full legal act against you.
That's the problem, is Dion will. Dion is at that point.
Well, no. Here's like, it's JMR, so he would not be using his money. He'd be using everybody's money, which is not probably something that they would be willing to agree to. And it's not Dion's channel. That's
Yella's. Fair.
Yella would ultimately be the one to make the decision.
Do you really trust Yella to make that decision? I'm sorry, I can't see it happening. Dion, even back in 2018, do you remember the video where they do the vlog where they make the snow marble rallies and all that stuff, like the bobsled? Do you remember that vlog?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so in that vlog, who's the man in charge? Who is the one filming? Who is the one doing all the stuff? It's not Yella. It's Dion. Dion is the one always behind. He's always been the puppet master with the strings in his hand. He has been the one who has been pulling the strings. From what I believe, it sounds like from about 18 on. That's 5 years. And
no, so Dion, like I can remember, he either like joined the channel around 18 or 19, but he definitely only joined as a cameraman at first. He just going through the credits, he was listed mainly as like a cameraman.
That's a good
and
point.
Talking with the former JMRC, he was not very involved. His acts within the group were very minimal. He's definitely been trying to gain more power as the channel has gone on.
And of course, since he's the brother. And you know what? And I have a question though. Who would you trust more?
No, he's not Eliezer. No, Eliezer. That is not true. He was not here since 2016. The JMRC has said it as much. Dion himself has said, like, we did a whole episode 94 if you want to go into it, but you can go to the credits for ML 2016 and 17 bare minimum, and maybe 18 depending on my memory.
18,
and he's not listed in the credits. So at 17 and 16, Dion wasn't part of the channel. Period. He wasn't even in Nijmegen. He was outside of the country. At least outside the city. He might have been outside the country too.
No, he was.
He might have been outside.
I'm pretty sure he was in Netherlands, but I do believe you're correct. He was not actually an active part. He became an active part in 18, and then 19, you see that quality jump. I like to believe that is actually due to Dion actually kind of pulling the strings, telling Yella, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Because I feel like if you look at 17 and 16, you get that home feel. And 17 a little bit less, but 16 definitely. But 17, you start to feel it. 18, okay, it's a little better. But then 19, you feel that jump. That jump was massive.
I don't know if I attribute that to Dion. It could have been Dion, sure. But like, I would not attribute a lot of that to him.
I'll check
like,
it, Eliezer.
Even as he's in the credits for. Check it 17 for me. But I'm pretty sure. Even if he was there, again, from everyone I've talked with who did work with JMR and did know Dion, the most he really did at the time was just being an extra cameraman. That was his main contribution to the set, to the group, is he was a cameraman primarily. He might have tried to say give ideas every now and again, but ultimately Dion's contribution to the channel was not that much.
Okay, I have the credits pulled up. Dion Bacher, assistant director.
Okay.
Video recording.
Yeah, he may.
Dion Bacher. Scoring and graphics,
Yeah,
not there. Music, Yella. Sound. Soundtrack location, toys.
Yeah, but is that true though? Because those videos were reposted, so they could have been re-edited.
Well, the credits that were now re-edited. I don't think they had the original project file.
No,
as far as
they
I'm aware.
didn't. Anyway, you can see it's 4 years ago, so that'd been 19, and it makes sense. I'll check 16.
So he may have tried to force himself as the assistant director. It's been a while since I went through the evidence and stuff and the accounts from everybody. But Again, him calling himself assistant director might have just been him trying to make himself sound more important. Because everything I'd heard was he did not do that much. He was not as important as he said he was.
And that would make sense, but you know what? I am willing to give most people the benefit of the doubt. And granted, maybe I shouldn't.
It's a dumb thing to do. Waff's been doing that since episode 1. Waff's been benefiting the doubt to people since episode 1, and now look where we are, Waff. 163, and the whole thing's about to collapse.
There have been several times where things happened where like it was ambiguous, like JMR did this X thing, and it was not clear if it was Dion or not. I would always think it was primarily Dion, just given his past, but I always at least said there's no way to know for certain. I always try to give Dion the benefit of the doubt where I could, saying, well, if we don't know for certain, we can't say that for certain, and thinking maybe he's gonna learn from his mistakes, maybe he's gonna grow, because I want to be fair to everybody. Like, if you make a mistake, you have a chance to learn from it and become better. It's been 2 years now, over 2 years now, at least since I've learned about it, and I think about it sounds like about since 2017, roughly 3, 4, 5, 6 years for Dion working with the channel to actually grow and improve as a human being, and he hasn't. I only have so much goodwill to give. I'm not I gave him the benefit of the doubt for a long, long time, longer than I should have. I'm not going to give it anymore.
That is fair.
I've said it before, but it's definitive now. Dion needs to leave because he's he's ruining it. He's ruining everything. He's hurting the channel. He's damaging the community. And the longer this goes on and the more the dissension builds, eventually it's going to get to the point where he can't block enough people to hide it from the rest of YouTube.
That was the thing I wanted to see.
And that's when the algorithm is going to tank it.
Am I blocked from JMI? Let's see.
Oh, that's a good
I wasn't
point.
yet, so.
Let's see, MSW.
I mean, how often do you the MSW Twitter isn't very active, so probably not.
Yeah, but they know me from the couple episodes.
So Eleazar actually just made a point. He was in the final 2 races of Marble Rally 2016 because there was a small screen on the side.
How does that prove that that's Dion? There are other cameramen besides Dion and Yellow.
Following. I literally wasn't even following Jell's marble runs.
Let's check.
There being a smaller screen, like if you see a camera screen, there were multiple cameras and there were other people helping with filming, and heck, I think Mel even was actually helping with filming at times back when he lived near them.
You might be right. Actually, that is a good point. Although we have 2016 rally. Let's see if we have any credits.
And again, I have direct confirmation from the JMRC who worked with him that he used to say that he did not really get it or see it as something that was successful. He was doing a job somewhere else outside of 9 Megan bare minimum and was not close enough to actually help with the physical production or even any of the he didn't do any editing himself. It wasn't until after he lost his job and needed some income and saw that JMR was succeeding that he came over.
He lost his job?
I'm gonna insert myself into this now. Yeah. Way back in the day.
Old ass news, MFA.
No.
That's what led him to join.
I didn't know that. I always thought he just quit because he wanted to help.
As far as maybe I'm misremembering. It's been a while, but either way, he no longer had his old job, whether it was his own choice or he got fired or let go. I can't remember.
Okay.
It's in episode 94. What I do know is that he stopped working at his previous job and then went immediately to JMR around the time that it actually started gaining some traction.
Well, then you also have to wonder, is he the reason it started gaining traction?
Probably not, no. Because he only went because it was actually making money. So it had to be making traction first for him to actually want to be there to... Or at least it was getting popular,
That's fair. That's all fair. I don't know.
We've had discussions so many times.
I think it's clear that he's when you start having to block people who were the biggest, most of the people he's blocking are people that literally have made the big fan accounts, right, for the team.
Yes,
right?
the fan accounts.
These are the things, like these. Hold on, MFA.
Because everyone's up in arms about it.
The kind of people that have been blocked are the ones that have been the most active. So it's just a ridiculous thing. Obviously, when you step back and see that that's happening in the general sense, there's some sort of problem. So I don't know. It's kind of sad. I don't think anything's going to change. I think wherever Dion is putting his mind, it has nothing to do with the active community, and so it's just we're always gonna. It's never. I don't think it's going to change unless some other things change. But then again, let's say Dion left, then what? Right? Then you have who? Just Gel? I mean, he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
He has...
Like,
There's Minos and
hang on, so I cannot sound like an asshole.
Okay.
I like Gel, and I think Gel does a wonderful job doing his channel. But, or Yella, but this American pronunciation. Gel doesn't do this. He doesn't do, like, if you just said, hey, Dion's gone, Gel, now go on Twitter and fix it. I don't know if he can necessarily handle that. I don't think that's what his role has ever been in JMR. He's doing what he's supposed to, like the things he does do for JMR. He does a great job, obviously. That's why we all still watch, even though Dion's been an asshole. What I'm saying is, I don't think that if Dion left, like, then what would we do then? Who would stand in the place of Dion and then go on the Twitter and fix that?
Somebody
would
would
then
have
go
to
on the
step
Reddit
up.
and fix that. And then go in a community and fix that. And get everything. Who would do that? Because it would need to be someone who is close enough to Gel that there's some real, like, trust and understanding between them where they communicate about it so they know what's going on, and then there's some like, how would that occur, right? So I don't know.
There's only one person.
So here's the thing.
Only one person, Melicus.
Melicus
Well, no, Melicus left a long time ago with the JMRC.
He's doing other stuff now.
So here's the thing. So as I mentioned earlier, Minos is unblogging people. Minos has access to the Twitter too. Minos also uploads to the Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. It's no longer just solely Dion using the social media. So like there are people like Minos or Jim. I don't know if Jim would take on that role, but he could, I suppose, if he wanted to. And of course, there's also Yella's parents, if they want to take on that role, if they're tech savvy enough, or if you want, like, just get someone new. Use the JMA, someone on the JMA who understands social media.
You Stint.
Like,
it's always Stint. Stint is
Stint is not on the JMA, but I don't think he'd want to take on that role. He's already kind of been burnt out. Bless him.
He's not. What are you talking about? He's not on the JMA.
No, that's what I'm saying. Stint is not on the JMA.
Yeah, but like Stint is the answer to everything.
Stint would make a lot of things better, but we can't put everything on his shoulders.
Yeah, that's fair.
He already does so much. It's just getting rid of Dion would result in a lot of the negativity disappearing and a lot of the negative choices that were made disappearing. So where the community can actually have a significantly less drama. Will there still probably be mistakes in like filming and events? Possibly. More than likely, yes.
But now people are liking the channel, and then we're gonna go through a weird bunch of phases the fan base will go through a weird bunch of phases, and then kind of maybe revive again.
Yeah, that's just it. Dion is not going to grow. He's not going to improve. If he does, it's going to take over a decade or more. It's not, and that's going to, by then the channel's probably going to be so hurt that most of the community is not, at least most of the dedicated community is not going to want to be around. Heck, like people have Project Marble Earth is now refusing to make new articles, and standing with Dinosaurus here, like. So they had plans for making of articles and the memos for the last 3 events. They're not going to do it now, they to stand in solidarity with them. And I honestly I wanted to do the same with MSW, but we're just so close to closing out the guest list, and some of the people have been on there for a while. So for the sake of the fans, I say we'll continue until the end of this Marble League.
Yeah, and then. Jury's out on next year. That's all we can say.
So I'm looking at their Social Blade. You said some important things. How had they been doing in their subscribers? I'm trying to look in and figure out how they were doing subscriber-wise.
Yeah, no. You probably haven't been. Yeah, it's from my understanding, you haven't been around a while. We talked about this several times. Their growth rate has dipped a lot. They grow so slowly. I think they've actually lost. There are periods where they were losing more subscribers.
Yeah, they were at 1.36 mil for a while, for a good 2 to 3 years. 1.36, 1.37. Then at the bump of this season, they jumped up about 1.4 mil, but they haven't moved from there. And so that's over the past 4 or 5 years. So I mean.
Yeah, and they used to get we're almost guaranteed 1 million views on the qualifiers videos. Now they can barely get over anything 100,000.
They got 200 on the qualifiers. Then the opening ceremony, episode 1, only got 140, 128 for 2, 127 for 3, 108 for 4, 102 for 5, 111 for 6, 104 for 7, 100 for 8, 108 for 9, 98 for event 10.
You can always count on him to read all the data points. Thank you, MFA.
But yeah, like the viewership is a lot lower than it used to be.
Even with
and it all
supposedly
happened
more subscribers.
immediately after the JMRC lefted.
Lefted?
Wow.
Good try, Waf.
Lefted! Nice!
After the JMRC left, there was a clear slow decline in quality and in fan engagement. It's been so obvious.
And the most popular videos show that. The most popular ever, and in this new channel, the 2019 qualifiers with 14 million views. The next is the incredible marble run machine with 11,000 marbles. Again, having nothing to do with Dion. Big marble machine with 1,000 marbles, 3.5, 4 years ago. You do see the pattern here. Dion, I'm seeing no hand, except for maybe Marbula E, which somehow got 2.2 million views for race 2.
Because the Formula E people came over and watched that for a minute.
Yeah.
But that was race 2. It should be race 1. And it's race 1's nowhere.
Oh, that's true.
Race 1 has 1.3. So people liked it enough to come back for race 2, and then they decided it was enough.
They told some other people, and then they watched for a little bit, and then they're like, Like, it's usually just like a curiosity to people, Marvel Sports. Like, people are like, this is cool, but they don't watch it, like,
faithfully.
And it could have become more, but you didn't create an environment for that, so we're going to have to see. Now, I think there's a lot of people still hungry for Marvel Sports. Again, I'm excited for some new channel's going to pop up.
Maybe.
Some new channel's going to evolve out.
M&H Racing.
There's a channel. No, I hate that channel. Sorry, M&H Racing, but you
I haven't
guys
heard about them in a long time.
so it's not going to be them, by the way. Let's just look at them. M&H Racing.
Have they even uploaded recently? I don't think they have.
They still have 368K subs. This is not bad. But if you look at their viewership, they haven't made many moves lately. Now it's just clickbaity. Fail compilation. The Impossible Marble Run. Magic Marble Run Race Tournament compilation. Everything's a compilation. Extreme Whirlpool Marble Run Race Course.
That sounds fun.
Musical synchronized marble run. Yes, it is great clickbait, isn't it? Yeah. Last place is crushed. Survival ball race. Chiefs versus Eagles marble race Super Bowl.
Yeah, like it's just that style of content.
It's just mid thumbnails. Coke versus Pepsi marble race. Who will win? Does that sound fun to you?
No,
MFA?
no, absolutely not.
Hang on. Sorry, M&H, but it's been like 3 years
We're
since we
running
made
along
fun
here.
of you.
We should probably move
Granted,
on, you
yes.
know?
The Super Mario Marble Race. Rescue Peach! Country tread... Oh, the treadmill races are cool, though. I actually like those. But yeah, it's kind of clickbaity stuff, so most of the stuff they're getting between 10 and 20K views tops. So,
how about Marble Fibica?
But there is a marble...
Let's not... No, look, come on,
not even
let's
bothering
stop
looking it up.
Okay.
They never increased quality of content since I was with them, and so therefore they decreased, and so therefore they are going in no direction. So I will say there's a Marbula 1 style marble channel starting at the turn of this year that I'll be broadcasting for, so I'm excited for that. And by the pictures he sent me, it looks like the quality of JMR, so we'll see what the camera work and the graphics are like. So maybe there's some area there for a different community to bud. We'll see. And if he's consistent, there's potential.
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfect timing for that dude, because people are about sick of this channel. So we'll see. But anyway, yes, we've talked about a lot of things at this point. Thank you for all your thoughts so far on that MFA. Let's cover quickly the events and then get out of here. So we're going to quickly just go around. We'll just rate the event out of 10, right? Rate the event out of 10. Give a couple thoughts on it. If you want to talk about any standings, go ahead. And then that'll be it. And then I'll talk a little bit about my fantasy. We'll get out of here. So starting with you, Waf. Legion March Wave. Thoughts?
All right, Legion March Wave, my opinions of this style of event have not really changed. It's kind of fun, it's just that it goes on for a while, you know?
Yeah.
It does. I don't think that the two-lane method is really necessary. I think just doing one run for each would have been fine enough.
You see,
You know, we don't need to like worry about the variability too much on this. Like it's too slow.
one thing they could have done, I was just watching it because, well, I was never told that we were doing event 12 and 13, but I did watch. Did you remember that Team Galactic thing where they switched lanes? They did the triple lane.
Oh,
That,
they didn't allow that, though.
But then they didn't actually run.
if they had done that and they won, that would have been a talking point. And then you introduce strategy. You need to allow that because with all the negative stuff going on right now, you need something to distract. You need to throw out a bait and then switch them and pull them back in. And basically...
Well, here's the thing. There's no real... It's not fair because who decides which team gets to have the optimal positions here when they get set up in the blocks, you know?
And again, this is...
Yeah, you can't really fairly decide that.
This is where I come back to the M games. Do you remember the M games?
Yes.
Vaguely, because we got 3 events in and then he didn't do anything with it.
Okay, so in the M games, they had coaching decisions.
Yes, we've been over this point before. Yeah, the team coaches, is that a way to do it? Sure, that would be a way to do it. Like
No,
give
but
them some responsibility.
No, I don't even want to
just
entertain
move
this
the lanes.
thought. You know what? We're not even close to team coaches. Okay, we have such problems in this community. The whole community doesn't even want to be here anymore. So we're far from team coaches.
That is fair.
You're not going to add team coaches and fix the problems. It's not a Band-Aid situation.
I understand.
Also, yes, it would be unfair. But I mean, like, we're so far from that I just think the points are fly right past each other and don't even connect. Like you're not fixing it like that. You need to get, when you have the problems you have now, where people who have given years of their life to this thing are now like, I don't even want to be a part of it anymore. It's not just like, hey, let me throw another new cool thing in one of the videos. No, you're far from that.
That is fair.
I will throw out my rating for Swing Wave while I'm ranting. For me, this event's about a 7 out of 10. I think it was fine. Fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It is what it is.
Personally,
my teams that are writing it.
If they allowed Team Galactic to pull that stunt, it'd have been a 9. Them pulling them off that
really?
Yes, because you introduced controversy.
It would have been totally unfair, though. Not been a 2 for me. Even if it's cool, no. It's totally unfair.
Okay. To be honest, I guess I'm probably jaded by the fact that I enjoy this type of stuff where you have surprises. I enjoy surprises like this, like complete out of the blue stuff, which would make it fun. However, I can understand your point. But let's just nullify this and just say they don't pull that stunt at all. Just completely forget about it for now. It needs to be a knockout bracket style. It needs to be that because
I think it would make it more fun.
Because you have you're competing against basically the clock and there's just another team next to you. Cool.
Well, you also are interacting with that team. So there's the aspect where that team is affecting your run.
And
sometimes good,
that
sometimes
begs the
bad.
question. Why not just work together and try to drop a 90? Both of you drop like a total of 90 both together. You work together, just get it.
Why would they do that?
But then you guarantee a 1-2 for both of you. You both guarantee yourselves more points than the other people. Therefore, it's actually more efficient for you to work together. That way, you actually move yourself up the tables. Even if they beat you, you're still gaining more points by helping them and them helping you.
I don't think that's easy enough in this event. There's not really there's not a lot of control in this event.
Man, like that level, that degree of roleplay I haven't heard in a while.
No, but like that. But see, again, I think that doesn't work with the event, even in very deep roleplay, because this event you don't really have a lot of control. The only thing the team next to you does is sometimes actually slow you down a little bit, which is good. Which means you're not going to end up in that. You're not going to end up in that final square, and that final square is devastating. I'd rather be like 5 7s than 1 in the final square.
It's exactly why you need it to be bracket style. This is exactly the reason what I'm saying. Because you just...
Okay, I agree bracket style is more fun, yeah.
And also you'd have fewer runs in total. Because you have 16 currently.
Yes.
You'd have the equal same because due to the third place match, but we don't care about third place.
It'd be more interesting to watch.
It would be. And because you'd also have in a sense that tension because like right now the Bumblebees super close with the Savage Speeders. You have them as the 1 and 2 seeds. You're rooting for them both to make the final because you want to see those big dogs duke it out.
Yeah, that's true. For me, like I did appreciate that them putting the dolly cam in this one, like they did for for bouncing. That was a cool shot. Cool. I love it. It works here. It was a little bit slower, so sometimes the marbles would get ahead of the camera. So they needed to adjust the speed of it. Also, something happened. Like, the camera was bouncing. The track was not stable this time around. I don't know why. So the camera work was not as good. Yeah, like, if you watch the slow mo, you can see the whole like frame is like bobbing up and down because the camera itself is like not sliding smoothly. I think maybe because it's moving faster. It is moving a lot. It was moving faster than balancing, so maybe that's why. It just couldn't.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It be as smooth. I don't know. But either way, like it does. Having cool camera angles does make it more interesting. I do like that. I think as an event, it's maybe a 7. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. It's fine. It can be fun, and it can be fun. It needs, like, I think having fewer runs and then having bracket style to spice things up and make it more engaging and make each run feel like it matters more would make me more engaged and make the event more fun.
You know, the big problem is naturally, again, like you said, that style. The style currently is what kills it. The event can be fun, but again, it just feels kind of boring watching them go up and down. Yeah, it's soothing for about the first 3 runs, but afterwards you're just kind of like, it's very boring. Why am I watching this? So granted, the actual event is probably a 4. With a good bracket, good graphics, good camera work, which again, they had excellent camera shots. That one looking straight down the track towards the start block from the end, beautiful camera work. I like that. That shows how much undulations in the track. That's what you want to do. You want to make them feel like they're in there. That's good. That dolly cam, also good. Make it a little smoother, but still good. But that formation and the format is what kills this thing. Completely dies it so hard. But if you change it, it goes from a 3 or a 4 to, I say, an 8. Because then you have these inter-rivalries. Because then instead of... You could, of course, make it rivalry week. So, like, how you know how college football has rivalry week? Make Swing Wave rivalry week. Since it's head-to-head, and they're together in basically the same track, same lanes, there's nothing dividing them. Make it rivalry week. Make them go after each other.
I mean, that's not the worst idea. Actually, that's not the worst idea he's ever had. I mean, MFA is a great mix of nonsense and good ideas, but that's actually not bad. To like have all the matchups be like
the first round matchups
teams that people generally see as rivalries. That actually is not a terrible idea.
The first round matchups all are rivalries. So
because there's actual contact, right? There's actual contact between the marbles, so there's vibes to that. So I'm not necessarily against that. I mean, sometimes I hear some MFA talk and I'm like, "Woo!" But this one was actually this is good. I think that's actually a cool idea.
So long as it's fair for like her standings, I would say that would be fun. But like, don't always do it a rivalry every time, because then like it may not be like fair to put. Like, let's say you put the one, like, the team who needs, like, the points at the bottom of the standings against the team who's got first place.
Well, then first is actually more.
Swing Wave,
first is actually needs the points more than last.
It's not like 5-meter sprint, so I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
Well, like, you know, like how, like, the brackets are limited turn by, like, a random chance to make sure it's fair, every team has a fair, like, shot to go through. If it's determined, like, the rivals will always face each other in the first round, it won't be as... It'll get old every time if you do it every single year. But also, then it can be. It's not. It kind of takes away some of that fairness. Like if the team,
maybe
like some teams have.
I don't think it does.
Like,
well,
not in Swing Wave.
Well, you see,
I don't think it does in Swing Wave.
Let's look at this year's standings. Savage Speeders, Bumblebees, Pinkies, Raspberry Racers. Pinkies and Raspberry Racers, they can go at each other. O'Rangers and Savage Speeders. Although Pinkies and Raspberry Racers really aren't actually that big of rivalries.
O'Rangers and Savage Speeders, is that true?
No, Savage Speeders and O'Rangers. Excuse me.
Raspberry Racers and O'Rangers.
No.
Racers and O'Rangers. Cat's Eyes and Speeders.
No. O'Rangers Speeders.
That's today's meta. No, that's today's not O'Ranger Speeders. That's today's meta, not O'Ranger Speeders.
O'Ranger Speeders is the original fight.
It is.
Yeah, but you're like 4 years back. Like this is today now. Today's rivalry is definitely
I
more
have a
Speeders
question.
Cat's Eyes.
Did Michigan drop any rivalry just because that team's bad? Do they still play Michigan
No, but
State?
that's not what I'm saying. But that's a sideways point that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
But no, it does, because you said that your point is you want to drop a Rangers Savage Speeders.
You tell me what my point is, sure.
What you're saying, base?
I'm saying it's not applicable anymore. I'm saying that as far as the rivalry, which is built, this is different from college football, right? The rivalry is not built. It's built not by really. It's built by the fans more than it is the players, because the rivalries start outside of the game. Because obviously the marbles are just freaking marbles, right? So the rivalry starts outside of the video. And I think right now, Cat's Eyes and Speeders is more appropriate based on the rivalry between any sort of imagined rivalry in the road plays outside of the
Okay,
video.
I got a question.
For Marble 1, they're rivals, but not in
that's
not really in a Marble.
Right,
game.
no, but like, why would it? See, but that's what's built. So it's like,
No.
if you were gonna think about, like the Rangers and Savage Speeders have not connected all within the past few years.
They are
for that to make
currently
sense to me.
14 points separating them in the Marble League. That is a literally a first. If you score first,
That is a terrible argument.
what is
Most teams are 14 points separated from each other in the Marble League.
dude?
Most teams.
The Savage Speed. I'm pretty sure like we had like the event of like the Savage Speeders like and the old Rangers like having like beef with each other in a
Yes.
previous Marble League, and then like having them like come
Yes.
together in like the circle at the
I
end.
think that was literally 5 years ago.
No,
No, that was
Recent.
the most recent Marble League, like 2 years ago.
yeah, it's been recent.
Oh, when they won the second one. When they won the second.
Yes.
Okay, I guess that's fair, but they don't play that up anymore.
No, see,
Greg never mentions it. The fans never mention it.
you need.
Well, the fans don't mention anything anymore because no, but see, it's hard because like it's hard to even talk about rivalries because no one's really giving a shit as much anymore. Like those are the tertiary things that you give a shit about when everything else is going fine, but
And
the
yes.
community's kind of just been problematic lately.
Granted, yes.
That is true. I haven't heard people like aside from like some of the people on the Let It Roll podcast, like I haven't really heard people talking about rivalries as much.
So I guess that's more the spirit of what I was feeling, but I guess you're right. I guess the arrange of the speeders makes sense. I'll give you that one.
See, in the big.
I will say this: I wouldn't want them like to actively force rivalry events to happen in Swing Wave, but Swing Wave does lend itself to fun rivalry battles if they come about naturally, just by how the bracket ended
then
up
if
going.
you're going to
I
do
like
that, then you'd have to do the normal bracket, basically Sweet 16, bro. March Madness style, 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15, etc., etc. Do it that style. You'd have to have that.
Yeah, we could do it
Because
that way.
then you'd have basically a fair fight, and 1 and 2 will only be able to face off in the final. 3 and 4, basically, etc., etc. You basically have that bracket style just going down. And the thing is, if your teams are close, that would actually make it really, really super fun in the final. Because if you have the 2 top teams make it to the end, then you feel like there's a lot on the line. Because if you win, you knock 5 points off of them. If they win, they gain 5 points on you. And currently, with the gap being what it is, it's tied right now between the Savage and the Bumbles. So that would make more sense. That's the problem, is they've lost their way. And that's because, again, back to going to our original point, Dion. They've killed the community.
Well, like for this event, like having him do a bracket style would make it more like a battle of attrition and of like endurance. Like the teams like have to they have to be consistent and they have to keep up the endurance and the energy to do multiple runs back to back to back. Whereas in this event, it's like, okay, do 2 runs, you're roughly all probably gonna get around like 30 or 40 points ish, and then you're done. Like it's more interesting and more awesome if you see a team is able to consistently get like the 3 marbles in the 10 like in multiple runs, and it's wow, they really are good at this event. But because they only do 2 runs at a time, it's hard to really get that data on it because like I'm not interested enough to go look it up on the wiki
I have the
for, like
data
the
right
previous
here.
runs of it.
Oh my lord.
Well, but like having them do it multiple times in an event would allow the people just immediately in that one running of the event to determine to see how well a team is doing at this specific event at this current point in time. You know.
So basically, the spread was actually 45 points between the winner and 16th.
Oh yeah, that was a rarity that we've never seen. I'll give them that. That was a rarity. We've never
And
seen
can
that.
you guess who
happen
got
before.
last?
I'm trying to remember.
Crazy
Who
Cat
was it?
Size.
Was it Team Galactic?
Crazy
I think
Cat
it was?
Size.
Oh, that was right. Cat
They
Size.
got
Yeah,
42 points.
And what?
Swing Wave.
Okay.
And they were facing off. I think they were facing off
Cat
against
Size
the
aren't
Pinkies.
very good at that, I guess.
They were facing off against the Pinkies, and the Pinkies won. Yeah, the Pinkies faced off against the Crazy Cat Size, and the Pinkies won the event. So in that event, you had 1 in 16 in the same event finish that way.
Interesting. I mean, I think we're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, and we have to talk about
we are.
event
We talked
13.
about it in event 8.
We have not talked about event 13. So I appreciate some of those ideas. See, those are the kind of ideas that I would be like super excited about back when I felt like we could say something here or would actually make a difference. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, it's a great idea. It's a cool idea. At least part of what he said, I actually am very much behind. But it's like, Dion can't even listen to like the people who he appointed as his association, let alone a podcast who's made few episodes saying he's bad already. So anyway, but I appreciate that, MFA. Good thought on that. Let's move on to event 13. Quickly go around, rate it, and then we'll talk about Rojo Uno's wonderful finish, which was really good. And then we'll talk about the final standings. And I'm sure MFA will spend too long on that, but we'll let him go on it. Let's go do our ratings first, though. Me first. I'm taking the first one. See, usually I pass it off to a guest or something and be selfless, but now I'm going to grab it for myself. First rating, Elimination Race. I like Elimination Race. I've always enjoyed it. I like the concept, of course, of the last person being eliminated each time. I think it's just really fun. It's kind of like a battle royale type vibe in that sense. I think that the track, when it's only honeycombs, can sometimes feel a little bit kind of claustrophobic. I think that sometimes it can get a little bit too samey because you will only have like the kind of hitting off the angles of the combs. And so you kind of know what you're expecting through the whole race. I would like a little bit of like variation, like if it was like honeycombs and you hit some sand or hit some marble drome, kind of just the kind of thing you'd wish to see. Like kind of taking JMR to that top level vibes, like I always talk about, like more variation. Just because then we get a section where marbles are rolling fast, marbles are rolling in, in groups or whatever, so a different type of vibe. But overall, I think that it's a fun event. For me, about an 8.5 out of 10. I had to give it a 10 out of 10 last time because I thought it would be a wonderful end to the Marble League, and then they actually put it in the last event in the Marble League. It was like that year or the year before, so I had to get a 10 for that reason. But I think overall, it's still like an 8.5. Waff?
Yeah, for me, like it's a solid event every single year. I love this. Like it almost looks like it's got like it's somewhat felty. I don't think it is because I think you can hear from the sound that it's more solid. But like the texture of the running on is different than what they normally use. I like the contrast of it. Actually, it really helps things kind of pop more. And it also allows you to see the traps and have them stand out more because they're not all sitting on the same colored white block.
Yeah.
Some of the traps were awesome, like launching, like the Glen Glacier's coming down.
Yeah,
Boom!
Hit by the bubbles.
Absolute destroyed.
Oh man, that was so good. I love that. Such a great style of event. The two ball bearings at the big ones at the very end, like I guess like it works if like a marble uses to trip up ones behind them, but I feel like it was too hard to activate the two giant.
They were in a little
cannons
bit
at the end.
janky spots, yeah.
So, but other than that, I think it was pretty solid. Like I think this like it's a good event every single time. It's kind of like it's not hard to mess up. They definitely could have done something. There's I see like a golden like ball bearing in that between those two like launchers. I always wondered what that was. It didn't seem to activate anything. I'm not really sure.
That was a.
Oh, you can't go through the
yeah, you had to hit it and then you hit into the other thing so that you would shoot them back up the track.
Oh, so that's what that oh, I see. So the ball bearing was
If
meant
I
to like
speed it
guide
up.
you into it. Okay.
Yeah, see, it
that
kind of
makes sense.
pushed it
That's
to
cool.
the side.
That's awesome. See, that's good design right there. Yeah, I think this is I think it's an 8 or 9 out of 10. I think I'm probably leaning more towards a 9 just because it's always solid. Like they're like the one thing, it's always like, unclear with events that have this Gravitrax like hexagons where the finish line is. I think it is actually that the white cardboard underneath at the very end that is going to be the finish line.
Yes.
They never make that clear, and they don't have a finish line cam. Why don't they like that's like right in line with it?
That's
Why?
actually
Yeah,
a
like
good
that
point.
Rangers finish against
Team
the
Plasma.
other team, I forget. That was so close, yes. And like that, and now you could tell from one angle that the Rangers lost, which made me mad. I have another X and A start, by the way. I'm getting dangerous area, but yeah, like that was one you would want to see a finish game.
Yep, I'm watching it right now. It's at 7:23 in. You see it. It's like super close. Like if again, yes, it is obvious after you watch it again, but like that is the one where you want the finish cam. They have a finish cam on the water race. They have a finish cam on the 5-meter sprint. Mm-hmm. Why not here?
Yeah, honestly, like, why not have like a red line that's evenly across to indicate this is the finish line, or have like the big old gate, like the gate with a banner across, like that kind of finish line, just to make it more obvious. Because like for like every time they've had events like this, I've always like, or especially the beginning, the first event like had, it was called the slalom something. Like the team pursuit. Like whenever they got out of the hexagon section, I couldn't tell, was it the end of the hexagons as the finish line or the white cardboard. And I think it was the white cardboard, but like it's never been clear to me.
Waffle always gets mad, bro, about that. Always salty about that.
Because it is so
what my thing is,
simple.
why not have stop for a second. Why not have after the hexagon part, or like in the middle of it, why not have like a straight run for a while? Like a straight out racing. Like why is it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's no reason not to have that. I think it's so cool. You could end it with like a 10 meters of just open like track, right? Mm-hmm. Like whatever that cardboard piece was, or you could have it in the middle and then go back in a few more hexagons. Like, I don't know, it would just be nice because then you get to see the marbles really random. You can see all that.
It would be longer, but I think because you would get a lot more speed, like in terms of size, but because like you get more speed, it probably wouldn't actually increase the length of the event.
And that's not even okay because like this event is fun enough that I don't mind if it's longer. So
I'd agree.
Anyway, MFA to his rating.
So, I have to agree with your ratings here. It was good. Agree with the big ball bearings being in very, very poor spots. That is actually bad. Garbage. Those should be actually at the top and should be triggered by another small marble. Like the cannons they have at the top? Like those gun cannons or whatever you want to call it. That's how it should be. They should have the red marble circle around and then poke! And then you have a giant ball bearing chasing you down. Instead...
That would be awesome,
That would be. You put it right near the top. Right, like, not even a quarter of the way down. And then, boop!
Well, actually, no, that would then, like, potentially launch them faster down the track, so it would actually be... they would want to get hit by it, so it would be an anti-obstacle.
Okay, then, but that would make it exciting, so instead of having obstacles, you have assists.
It'd be interesting.
But that's the point.
Yeah, but like depending on how you hit that ball, it could be positive or negative.
Exactly.
So I think it actually still would play a pretty good role.
Exactly.
It'd be hard to use that in the positive way, and it still would be relatively easy to get messed up by it.
And it would be fun, because you have this giant inch ball of steel coming down at you.
Sure.
Coming down at you, following behind you down the track. That would be cool. Instead of just having these things literally 5 inches from the finish. Yeah, not good. Not good on that design right there. But aside from that, and the finish line cam, aside from that, I love the scorpion tails. Those were cool additions.
The scorpion tails were good.
Those were good.
They got in the way of some marbles though and messed up my fantasy, but whatever.
Okay. I will agree with you guys. It's a 9. If you want to get a 10, finish line cam, move the position of the large marbles. You do that, boom, 10.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you, MFA. So to end for today then, I'll just take you through this last, I'll do a little marble guy analysis. I'll take you through this last little bit of the Rojo Uno situation at 0.25 speed and kind of point out some cool things, and then we'll wrap up from there because we're over an hour. So
we could do a fantasy update because we haven't done that in a while.
Fine, quick fantasy update before I do this.
Yeah.
Number 1, A-Starp is going okay. I'm still alive, but now I have 2 X's, so sad. This next event's going to be kind of luck-based. I don't know. It's going to be kind of scary. I'm hoping for the best on it. If I get another X, I'm out. I'm hoping to get really lucky next event and get a blue square, and then I can pull off a blue square in one of the last two, because then they're more like, Sand Rally, right? Sand Rally, Marble Drum. So hopefully we can figure something out there. But dude, it is getting hard here towards these last few events, because it's not like because 5-meter relay didn't work out the way it needed to. I kind of got some hard places. So it's been not easy. I'm hoping to just grind out A-Starp and get that platinum medal at 16 events. It is very hard to be 16 events without going out. And so I'm hoping for the best in these last three. Elimination Race just did not do well for me. I for some reason, I thought ×3 for Shining Swarm was a good idea, and then I was very, very disappointed.
So wait, I've got a question.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this like the official JMR, or is this like a fan?
Explaining A-Starp feels like something that I have no effort for, but basically, here's the short. I'm going to give you the short,
okay.
And if you want more, you can ask other people after the show. Basically, every event you enter a different team. It's basically having, and you only can use a ×3 once per event. So if you use Crazy Cat's Eyes in 5-meter sprint, you can't use Crazy Cat's Eyes as a ×3 for the rest of the thing. And basically, each event you have to have more points than a random computer generated picks, right? So are you smarter than a random picker? So basically you have to do better than the computer for every event, but you pick a different team every event. So that's basically it. You have to last all 16 events if you can. I thought it was going to be pretty easy, and for the first half it was extremely easy. I was top 1, top 2, top 3 for most of the time, but then I got hit with some tough RNG because these are the RNG events in the back here, and now I'm sitting with 2 strikes. Now points wise, I'm still top 5 points wise, top 5, top 10, but the 2 strikes brings me down in the leaderboard because the strikes hit hard. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, updates for you guys and any sort of fantasies, then I'll end out with this thing.
Looking at the it's not really the official because JMR isn't really, but Nordic's team fantasy. Marble Guy, you're in 28th somehow, despite having Gliding Glaciers for your ×3 pick.
It's a stupid pick.
Yeah, I'm currently in 40th place with and this is out of a decent number of people, actually, 117.
Yeah.
So we're doing fairly well, despite having some very bad picks for our multipliers.
Yeah.
Except for Savage Speeders. Savage Speeders has always been solid, which, yeah.
I told you! Now I'm going to rant again! Since
No,
2019, I was like, if you're not putting the speeders in your ×2, then you're stupid! Every
×3?
single year it has served well me in the fantasy and WAF in the fantasy. You are stupid until they literally prove themselves over and over to not include that team.
Yeah. Moving over to Super Yak's individual marble competition, there are 26 people. Currently, Marble Guy is in 12th with 330 points. I am in second with 400.
Wow!
Right behind Richard Hinckley with 430.
Go Richard, go
I didn't really
Richard.
think hard about it either.
Wait,
It's
Richard
like-
is also winning the team fantasy league?
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Look at that.
The Adventure Marble League. Oh, well, yeah. Yes, they are.
The Nordic.
they are.
He's winning the Nordic Whaler one?
Yes, he
That's crazy. Richard, good for you, dude. Big shout
Let's
out.
go,
I mean,
buddy.
it might not hold that way for the end, but I really hope it does for you. That's really good. That's very impressive. Good for you.
Yeah, they have Savage Speeders for their ×3, Raspberry Racers for their ×2,
There you go.
Bumblebees, O'Rangers, and Shining Swarm.
The Swarmy
Shining
kind of
Swarm.
fell
But-
apart.
Nah, I don't even want to hear
Yeah,
that.
dude.
I do not like the Shining Swarm. But anyways, thanks for that fantasy update, and congrats to Richard. Congrats to you for second.
Yeah.
I'm okay with 28th. I'm hoping to pull a little bit on the A-Starp and just get that platinum medal. Anything from you, MFA, on that?
I've never done a fantasy.
And that's fair.
I would love to. I would love to do a Formula One fantasy, but I've never done one.
All right.
Give it a shot the next time you can.
Yeah.
It's fun because then you start yelling at. I scream at my phone. I scream terrible things at my phone. When I saw the Shining Swarm go out first, I screamed. I didn't scream. My curses weren't that bad as like many years ago, but I screamed at my phone.
Oh
my
boy.
God. So mad. So freaking mad. How does a swarm go out that? Just thinking about it makes me mad. I have another X.
You know, it's
Whatever.
From what I've heard, that random number generated. Excuse me, brain farted for like 2 seconds. That RNG one, I like that idea. That is beautiful because with 16 events, 16 marbles, that means you have to pick every single team for a +3 or times 3 at least once.
Yeah, once, and it is pretty good, except for
Is it the same with the 2x too?
Choose each one, so it's pretty interesting.
Is it the same with the 2x too?
No. You can kind of repeat the 2x, which I think is fair because then you really get to try to be smart about that.
Well then,
Yeah. I kind of wish I did it, but like it is a lot more involvement, and I don't know if I would be. I'm into marble racing here enough to want to prioritize, especially with like when they're doing 3 events a week. That would be a lot to keep up with.
I'd rather keep up on my 401k instead.
Sure. All right.
Write that one down.
Listen, so we're getting late on the episode's 120, so I'm gonna quickly bring us through this one thing I wanted to talk about, and then Waffle will take us out. So here we are. This is Rojo Uno and Team Plasma at the end. I don't remember who the marble is for Plasma. I don't really care.
It was Glumo.
Glumo. Thank you. I don't even know how he knows. He doesn't even watch Marble League. How does he know? I don't know. Here we go. Glumo and Rojo Uno. Here we are. So this is coming down towards the end. I always want to look at some formation here because Rojo Uno obviously wasn't doing. It looked like Plasma had this pretty easily, and I think that was really cool. And so I want to just see some patterns in how Rojo Uno dealt with this, because you have to think about especially when you have clearance and you know that you're in the back in like an elimination race, you always have to be thinking about what is it that you can do? What paths do you have that you need to try to hit in order that you could actually win? Because remember, because of the way this event is structured, because of the honeycombs and the angled blocks and everything, it is so easy to be running fast and then hit the wall and lose momentum and then go in a different direction and get stuck for a second as you roll, down, hit an angle, and then back the other way and zigzag your way down. So it's always important to look for lanes, because if you can find one, you might hit some speed even though you're far behind, then the marble in front of you zags another way, hits another wall for a second, and all of a sudden you are making up some ground. So it is important to look, and you see how Rojo Cinco sets himself up here, because he was kind of in a bad place out of the start. Sorry, I went back a little far. And so, first of all, you look at this. Let's look at the whole thing. So,
could I help analyze?
If you look at this race, now I'd like to talk through this, my friend, and then you could say what you'd like before we end. But if you look at this race, you got a lot of Rojo Uno being smart, but then running into a wall. He hits Plasma about 5 times here at the beginning. I think that's 3 right there, and you're going to see him hit Plasma a few more times, which kind of sucks because you see, look right there. You see, he wanted this line here down towards the near side, but Plasma just happened to bounce off the hexagon in the right way that he just got in the way, and that happened a couple times before. Then you see right here, this is like that reverse pinch. Motion we talk about in Marbula 1, and so he snaps Plasma right out. So a lot of interesting things right there, and then he hits Plasma again as he gets out of the he nudges off the hexagon. He wants the line, but he can't change that. You can't just immediately zigzag your own momentum in marbles. You have to use walls. You have to it takes time to do that. So he only had that one line. He hits the hexagon, knocks into Plasma. So he's just losing it. And then he got really stuck up there. Plasma got through that middle section so easily. So now it looked like, all right, Plasma got this. Plasma has enough space.
Wrong bounce.
Because Rojo Uno gets stuck here on the other hexagon. Plasma got stuck in the middle for a second, but so did Rojo Uno. So you're like, all right, now it's kind of some clearance. So the thing that's interesting here is that this end bit, you kind of get some open space here for a second. You see we come down, Rojo Uno will hit this hexagon and kind of hit the other one on the near side. You have this open clearance, and then you have a couple lanes down to the finish line. So if you're Rojo Uno right now, you're like, okay, crap, I'm way behind. My momentum's going sideways, and his momentum's going down. So look at when Rojo Uno hits this hexagon, you see Plasma's already here, and it'll actually escape just underneath these
beautiful
tails. So it's like, this is bad. Right?
Yeah.
So this is a big distance right here. And so when you're in the mind of Rojo Uno, the only thing you're thinking is, I need to get down there as quick as possible. The cool thing is that he saw, now I'm not going to take the picture and draw the line because then there's too much OBS work.
Yes.
But look at this. Try to look where my mouse is. Look at the line he sees here. He sees, because look, this is what happens here. Plasma hits one of the hexagons coming up here and ends up down there by the ball bearing for a second. He, because he's hitting this hexagon on the near side, he's angled towards the left side. So he only has the left side to play with, right? There's no right side because he can't go right. Why do you know that? Because if he were to hit one of the hexagons here on the far side and try to use the angle on one of them to go back towards the right side, then it's already too late. It's already too late. He's already too slow. He knows that, right? Because there's not enough time to hit, angle, and then hit, stop, angle again back the other way and hope you can slip through. So he knows he's only on the left side. That's logical, at least heads up play, right? So what he's doing is trying to see that line. Now this is where it's very fascinating. So he's going to hit off the hexagon and he's going to, and he may not have calculated perfectly beforehand, but he certainly was going for this. He was able to skim off that last hexagon in a way that instead of trying to use the actual angled wall on the hexagon, he just used the nub on the end as some way to redirect him just enough to get him back towards that left line. And I think that was beautiful because that was his only play. If you're in this position, if you're like, all right, let's analyze this position, how does the red marble win? That's the only play you got because you need a play that keeps you off any other angled hits because that always stops you for about half a second. You're already gone, right? So look at that. He comes off here. He's rolling off here slowly. He's like, this is bad. Plasma, of course, going really fast, but there's one more chance because Plasma's about to get its last nudge, its last little hit on the angled wall with the ball bearing. So it's like, this is it. He makes the line or it's over. See, you can tell by the speed if he would have hit that far end, one of the far end walls, just wouldn't have enough time. And it's just so interesting how he's able to use these walls here and just look, he nudges that perfectly. That's unbelievable. That's top marble sports right there. I'm gonna let you see that one more time here. Come on, boom. Rolls down. He needs to nudge and just redirect. He could have redirected off of one of these nubs, but obviously this one is the most optimal. And he just nudged it. That's amazing. That's some of the best marble sports decision making I've seen in years here on the channel. And then I'll just finish up here. And then of course, because Plasma got stuck by the ball bearing, there was a lot of rolling down the walls, a lot of stoppage. And you see, this is the coolest thing. This is the irony of the whole thing. Well, listen to this. This guy made contact with Plasma 6 to 7 times in the first half of the race. In the most likely time, boom, he threads a needle. That's craziness. and Plasma is just looking like, oh, damn it. Because even if he had nicked Plasma, he would have ended up in the white wall on the left side, and Plasma would have been shot forward quicker. So this was just beautiful. This was absolute, this was dopamine for a marble sports person. Oh my God. And then of course he finished. I freaked, even though I was so mad at my fantasy, I freaked the frick out when I saw this. I literally was like, no way. I freaked out in my room. Anyway, go ahead, MFA.
So, if you go back to 1410, let's just start there. It starts with about 6 key moments. The first moment is when Team Plasma at 1410 barely nicks that little blue bar. He pushes the red one. So this is a brilliant play. This is what we should call a game of millimeters, because that is literally what we came down to. He nicks it. This is a brilliant play by Team Plasma Glumo. He knows that Rojo Uno is going to try to find a lane that's different from him.
Maybe, but well, that would be a good question. Actually, that would be a good question to ask. Can Glumo see Rojo Uno?
The round and
is that like marble role play? Can he see behind?
Let's see.
How do marbles? Well, you know what I mean?
Well, he's on the opposite side. So if you think about it, the momentum on the left side will try to carry you to the right. So Glumo.
Momentum.
Yeah, okay, but they're right next to each other. And so Glumo sees Rojo Uno going to the left side, so he goes right. So he hits that one, hits the ball bearing, knocks it down. The problem is he doesn't realize how fast that ball bearing is going, and he gets a really bad bounce that nearly kills him on the right side of the 2 in the formation right after the 7 formation.
Well, no, he doesn't actually. He actually doesn't get hit by that ball-bearing scorpion.
No, which is amazing.
This is
He misses it.
This is no contact here.
Well, it does because of the game of millimeters. So Rojo, at 14-11, he's just come through. He sees the scorpion tail go down. So, at 14-12, he hits off the same block as Team Plasma. If he hits even a tiny, like maybe a millimeter to the
14-12. Oh, yeah, so at the other side of the block, though.
I'm talking about
Yeah, actually, that's interesting, because the scorpion tail actually, in its falling, because it has so much momentum, that actually bounces up.
Yeah.
And it had, like, the perfect bounce up that Plasma could sneak underneath on that last leg, but I think it's pretty fascinating.
So, but if you look
really
at
crazy.
Rojo Uno, I can see your video. If you go back to the time clock.
Are we sure it didn't actually hit the top of him?
Didn't hit the top.
So if
I don't think it. Like, look at this again. Like look. Sorry, I'm gonna catch this right here for a second. You want to look at change of speed. Do you see I don't see a speed change here that would indicate that he hit. So if you look at this, like, watch, like, and we're in like the 0.25, so you can really see. So he's speeding up,
Mm-hmm.
boom. Like, look at how the frames don't ever even clip a little bit here.
Boom. Yeah, he
Like,
just snuck
like
right
there was
under
no
it.
speed change.
But if you
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it bounced before
okay,
it touched him.
so
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
go back, so on the actual timestamp for the video is 14:12, but go to the time clock of 12.46 seconds on the actual game clock, right there. So, or a little farther.
I can't pause that.
Right there,
like
boom.
that. You're just gonna have to live
Did
with
you
that.
see how close on Rojo Uno was to going towards the right side of that block?
Well, let's see. Let me see this again. I jump back so quick.
What you have to do is just use your arrows.
Let's see how close that. What was that close though?
So if he hits,
Boom.
The comma and pause.
see, look,
Well, yeah,
bounce,
I guess he
boom.
was close to hitting that top rail.
And if he hits the top rail, there's no way he finishes in time. So first, he bounces like that. The next one, the next area, if you go down, so Team Plasma sneaks under, he thinks, oh, he's all good. But then, and again, the game of millimeters, he clips that middle block of that 5 group just below the scorpion tail. He just clips it just enough that it directs him just enough where if he is...
Yes, I did bring that up.
If he's 4 millimeters down from that yellow, you see where he hits the ball, the steel ball bearing ramp. If he hits that 3 millimeters lower, or I'm not even sure if it's 3 millimeters, just a tiny hair lower, he doesn't roll up into the corner there. He rolls down. And then again, the finale, true. Rojo Uno literally snuck by about a millimeter.
Let's see how close that was.
Timestamp of 1440. 1442.
Yeah, from the top down, yeah.
That's pretty close. That's definitely more like 3 millimeters.
If you go
but
back...
I see your point. This is side by side here.
Look at that.
But this is side by side, so this is really where it...
And then if you also go back just a tad more,
seconds.
You can actually...
Wait, what is the one where I can go back a frame? Is that A?
Comma and period.
See, this is not touching yet. This would be side by side.
Yeah, that's 2 millimeters.
Yeah, this is side by side.
But if you go back up...
That's like about 2.
If you go back up to the nudge, and look how perfectly it is from this angle. The nudge on the white block on the top side.
Oh, I know, because I remember just mentioning it.
Yeah, I know you did, but I wanted to show you from this
frame
angle.
Through.
You didn't show this angle to the viewers.
Oh, that's okay. That's fair. That's fair. I did not show this angle to the viewers, and I should have shown this angle to the viewers.
So just watch.
It kind of gets a little bit of airtime there.
Watch. Absolute perfection.
Because he has this direction. That is pretty good. And then look how the... Yeah, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other way. You can throw out 10,000 other scenarios. Team Plasma wins 9,999 other scenarios.
Likely.
Rojo Uno found the 10,000th to win. Insane. Could you imagine?
I mean, there's plenty of other scenarios where Plasma could have made it worse for themselves, but yes,
yeah.
Uh,
it is close.
If Plasma does the same exact thing,
Yeah,
then yeah, like in most scenarios, Rojo Uno is gonna have trouble making that happen. This was so cool. I freaked out about this. This is so
Yes.
cool. And this, Plasma Kadai Gold here. That was so cool. I don't know. That's one of the coolest moments of this Marble League, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I miss this Marble role play. This level. This is what I enjoyed about the show back in the day.
back when we felt it mattered, right? Anyway, but this is always fun. I always enjoy it. Honestly, overall, the event was great. Like we talked about, the standings don't move around too much. You see, I think the Bumblebees are making another move. They're back on the top, tied with the Savage Speeders. Now you have the Rollers in frickin' third place, which I don't know what to make of that, but I don't think they're going to end
Oh,
there.
my word, that is crazy.
Cat's Eyes have dropped, but there's so many teams from 103 to 139. It's like 11th is not real here, right? Because 103...
Well,
107 easily could get up to 139 in an event or two. So I don't really like.
Mm-hmm.
It's all very, very close in these hundreds. When you get Plasma and below, then they're kind of out of it here.
I feel like I count it as the gold medal. So basically, if they're within 25 points, I count them as within striking distance. The striking distance is 114. There are technically only 6 teams in the strike distance. However, Midnight Wisps and Team Galactic are only 26 out. So I'll count them. So the top 8 are in strike distance.
Yeah. But because we have like 3 events left, I'd still consider everyone down to Mellow Yellow within a good striking distance. If they, they could win they could have a couple good performances and be well within the range.
Yeah.
You know what? I really wanted to talk about something else, but we don't have time. And that was, what is the...
No, we don't. It's 1:30.
Yeah.
1:40.
It's not 1:40 a.m., I hope.
No, it's 1
Oh,
hour.
the recording, my
time
bad.
step of the recording.
But the one thing I would like to talk about maybe at the end of the Marble League is what is the greatest, most dominant season of all time.
That might be season 1. I don't know. That's a good.
I'm pretty sure that'd be a quick stats
There
check.
is a...
But yeah, that's something for another time.
Okay, yes, and I understand.
That might be that might be able to be covered on the episode with Akanon where we argue with him about rapidly and the MV,
I would like to be
MVDs
I would like to
whatever.
be a part of that, but if it's not possible, I understand.
We'll see. Just to make it so the last episode of this season so chaotic that I want to kill myself, I'll have
That
both
would be
Akanon and MFA on at the same time. We'll just...
It's an editing nightmare. It's an editing nightmare.
So funny, Bob. You would sit there in agony, and I probably wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise, believe it or not. It'd be wonderful.
Oh boy.
And then
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
No, we have to do that. Now that I thought about it, we're doing that.
No.
That is happening. Because I want there to be such chaos, such nonsense, such bananas that when we look at the last episode of this season, because we still might have one follow-up next year before we actually close the whole thing out. We think it's just utter chaos. Chaos theory at its greatest.
You do realize...
Anyway, Waff, take us out before we say any more things. Please, because it is... hour 40. MFA, we appreciate you coming on again.
Yes,
as
thank you
usual.
for coming
You
on.
brought
It was
some-
great talking with you
brought
again.
Some wonderful points, some wonderful thoughts, some very interesting ideas. That perspective that we always like. It actually gives us things to think about. I do appreciate that. That's why for that little bit of time you were that third host before we decided 3 hosts doesn't make sense. But anyway, Waff,
boy.
take
Thank
us
you,
out.
guys.
Of course, it's great having you. And with that, I will say, roll on, Marble Sports fans.